Hi guys, welcome to this video, welcome back to the channel, and today we're doing Daily Race C on Gran Turismo Sport. It's a Group 3 race at Bathurst, a really fun, challenging circuit, especially the mountain section. This is my first race in the new sim rig. You can check out the video of me building it actually if you click on the link that's on the screen. And yeah, you might notice there's a big Lion King poster in the background. I think we probably need to change that at some point in the future because it's not very relevant to racing. Right, let's get stuck in the racing and see what happens. Okay then, so like I said, we're at Bathurst, also known as Mount Panorama. We've got a 9-lap race round here. We're in the Corvette Group 3 car. You need a car in the race anyway that is very good in a straight line, especially if you're starting near the back like we are. We did set a qualifying time on the medium tyres, but that was accidental. We wanted to start at the back of the grid and do a sort of last to first type challenge. But this is top split and we're probably not going to be finishing in first place. So then just skipping or fast forwarding down the straights because they do take a while, so we don't want to just watch ourselves going in a straight line. It's a little bit boring, so we're going to speed up anything that we don't need to watch at full speed. So onto the mountain section then, and this is a very tricky part of the track, very undulating, lots of blind corners. We have a bit of a wall as well, so you can end up in the wall if you're not too careful. And then very quick left hand corner here, and then another one coming up here. You have to lift off just before the curb, otherwise your car can take off and you just end up wide out in the gravel trap. And then this is probably the trickiest braking zone of any racing game, or any race track I should say, not necessarily a game, in the world that I know of. It's downhill, twisty, bendy, and yeah, it's very easy to make a mistake. And then again, another tricky braking zone, a downhill left-hand hairpin, and you just need to make sure you balance the car through there and try to get a good exit. And we haven't got the best exit here, so again, we're just going to fast forward down the straight while we catch up to the cars ahead. And it looks like there's been a change of position up ahead. The Mercedes-Benz there goes a little bit deep, and the British driver gets around the outside there. Are we going to make a move? Yep, it looks like we're going to be going for this move up the inside into the final corner on the track, and we get that done well. The Mercedes giving us a nice amount of space there. So we start the race in 14th place. That's one position up we've gained. We've got Gr.3 just up the road who started a place or two ahead of us, so he's going to be trying to do a similar thing. And then we got Consta directly behind us, who as well is doing a bit of a race from the back of the grid. So those two are the ones I want to kind of keep my eye on, because I think we're going to be on similar strategies in this race and looking to try and get maybe a bit of an undercut and make some spaces up then. So onto the mountain section now. It's very difficult to get past any cars at all on the mountain section. You kind of just have to bide your time really and wait until the back straight and then look to make a pass in a straight line. So as I was saying, we're in the Corvette, one of the best cars for its top end speed, and it's quite stable as well. So coming down through this section here, it's just a nice stable car to drive, and you know, it just leaves you less likely to make too many mistakes then. So trying to get a good exit, and that we do have a much better exit there than we did on the lap before. So we're going to be close to the car in front, but you can see he's also very close to the car ahead of him. He's also in the Corvette, so he's going to be getting the slipstream, and we're probably not going to be able to get past him. And he looks to be going for a move now on the Corvette. So when you are trying to defend a position on this straight, just pick a side of the track and stick to it. Okay, you don't want to be weaving down there because the cars behind are going to be much faster, especially if you don't have a slipstream yourself while you're defending. So very good driving there from the Spaniard. Okay, we've got a yellow flag up then as we come through the final corner, and we drive straight through a ghosted car there. So not sure what's happened to that driver, but we are up to 11th place now then, as Consta behind us takes a very early pit stop on lap number 2 then. So he's going to have worn tyres towards the end of the race, and we just need to decide what we're going to do. Are we going to pit on this lap, or are we going to go for another lap on the medium tyres? So the tyre wear I think is times 7 for this race, so the tyres do wear out quite quickly, and we've got the softs and the mediums available. We are on the mediums right now and looking to pit early and get onto those soft tyres. Generally, if there was no other cars in the race, you'd want to do 5 on the softs and 4 on the medium, but I think we might pit this lap. As you can see, there's a lot of traffic up ahead. There's a little bit of contact then, I think, between myself and the Spaniard. He seemed to brake quite early through there, and again the Danish driver there just forcing us out a little bit wide. We don't want to be too aggressive through here. Like I said, don't try to make moves on the mountain section unless someone makes a mistake, because it's just going to be very, very difficult. So coming through the very fast left-hander, then you can see we do have a massive speed advantage there on the yellow Corvette, and we get that move done actually quite easily there. So coming through this section here, trying to get as close to the wall on the left hand side there, and you can probably get a little bit closer than I did just there. And then this awkward off camber right hander downhill, and then straight into the hairpin. So like I said, you really got to balance the brake and the throttle through that part of the track then. So getting a good exit from the hairpin side by side as we come up behind the Spanish driver, and that should be a nice comfortable move for us as we head down the rest of the straight. You can see just how long this straight is then, and we're gaining all the time, and then we've got the racing line for this right hand little kink, and we get that move done, just braking in the middle of the track slightly so that he doesn't go for a send up the inside. But we get that move done and up into 9th place now then. So we're going to dive into the pit lane then and see if we can get a bit of an undercut on that group of drivers up ahead. Onto the soft tyres then, we're just going to sit forwards because obviously the pit lane loss is much greater than it used to be. 27 seconds in the pit lane there. That's not a 27 pit lane loss, but that's how long we spent in the pit lane. And this track used to like only lose about 3 seconds in the pit lane. So yeah, it's very, very extended now compared to what it used to be. So as we come round turn 1 then on the next lap, having put in a hammer time lap, we get ahead of Gr.3 then. So he was quite a bit up the road, so I think he must have been held up on his previous lap then, because I was expecting him to come out ahead of us. But anyway, yeah, we are ahead, and you can see we've gained on this French driver very, very quickly then through the mountain section. About 2 seconds we've gained on him here, and as we come down the hill, it looks like we're going to have a nice comfortable move to make on the straight, but he completely loses the rear then, hits the wall, goes into us, we get forced to the outside, then he loses again, and we lose 2 positions to both Key and Consta there. So that's really, really hampered our race really. Consta's going to be on a lap older tyres than we are, so we should be able to maybe make some progress towards him towards the end of the race, but Key's on a lap fresher tyre, so he's probably going to go off into the distance now. And you can see the British driver S15BTW behind us, he is also going to be on a lap fresher tyres. So I've done a few tests already on this race, and you lose about 4/10 a lap due to the tyre wear on the soft tyres. So each lap generally will be around 4/10 slower than the previous one if you were driving at maximum speed. So coming through the final corner then, and we're still pretty close to the 2 drivers up ahead. So at this point we just want to make sure we stick in the slipstream range of Consta up ahead, which is 7.5 so we don't lose too much time and maybe look to challenge him towards the end of the race. And then we've got the British driver behind us who does seem to be helping at this moment in time. You can see here as we forward the back straight, he has given us a bit of a bump draft, so he's being quite tactical and clever, not wasting time battling at the moment. He's just trying to get as far up the race as he can, so very clever driving from him. Jumping ahead then on to the start of the next lap, and we can see Consta up ahead is now only just 1/10 ahead as we go into turn 1, and Key has started to pull away a little bit now. So this is where Key's tyres are 2 laps fresher than Consta's, and mine are 1 lap fresher. So we're going to be looking to try and get past him at some point very soon. As we see here, we're starting to pick up the toe down the first straight, and Consta going defensive into turn 1 then, so we're not going to be able to make a move there. And then he gets a little bit of curb on the inside, runs a little bit wide and just scrapes the barrier, and that's going to leave us all over the back of him now as we head up onto the mountain section then, and just seeing if he's going to make any mistakes through here. Like I said several times earlier in the video, we just want to bide our time through here, and it can be quite frustrating if someone is suffering on their tyres and not being able to make a pass. But Consta is a very quick driver anyway, so we're not being held up too much, but he does clip the barrier there, and we have to just go a little bit slower into the fast left-hander before the downhill section. And Consta takes a lot of speed down into there, but gets away with it, but then gets a big kick of oversteer through the left-hander, hits the ball, and that gives us a little bit of space, and we get the move done then. So going defensive into the hairpin, we run a little bit wide there, wanted to slow the car down a little bit more than we were able to, but we do get that move done. And then looking up to the mirror above us, we can see that the Brit S15BTW is side by side then down the back straight. We are on the left hand side, so he's actually going to get our slipstream and follow us through, and he gets past Consta as well then. So to be honest, that probably hasn't worked out well for us because he is on fresher tyres than we are. As we come around turn 1 then on lap number 8, we can see someone's got all out of shape through there, so that's promoted us up into 6th place then. So Key's up to 5th place, 3.5 seconds down the road, so we're not going to be able to catch up to him. We're just going to have to try and do our best job at defending, but we can see the driver behind is working with us, giving us a little bit of a bump draft down that first straight then. It looks like he's trying to be tactical and just biding his time until we get onto the even longer back straight, and we can see here as we've skipped ahead then, he is picking up our toe. There's absolutely nothing we can do, so we just move over and let him breeze on past, unfortunately. But we do have 1 lap left, so we'll have to see if we can mount an attack ourselves. Now we get into the later stage of the race. Even though he does have fresher tyres than us, he will be starting to deal with his own tyre wear as well, so that will make things more of a level playing field. And you can see there he does get a little bit out of shape going through the final corner. So on to the final lap then, and we might be able to just give a little bit of pressure to the driver ahead and force him to make a mistake. We're going to pick up the toe then as we come onto the first straight. I think it looks like we're probably a little bit too far back to go for a move into turn number 2, and you can see he's taking that inside line, going defensive, but then he does move over to the left hand side because he knows we're not really close enough to go for the pass. So now it's just a case of, can we stick with him through the whole mountain section as we follow him as closely as we can. Obviously he's suffering with the tyres, and we can see now there's another driver with fresher tyres behind us who's putting us under a lot of pressure, but he's in the Toyota Supra, so he's not going to be as fast in a straight line as the Corvette. And unfortunately, just on the exit of the most crucial corner on the track, we get a bit of wheel spin and we lose that gap to the car in front. So we look like we were going to be able to maybe go for a pass and challenge for 6th place, but unfortunately that bit of oversteer has just cost us. We do have the slipstream still, so we're able to catch back up to him, but we're not able to go for a move. And then into the final couple of turns then, the Supra gets a very good exit out of there, and we have to give him space on the outside of the track, and unfortunately that gives him the inside line for the final corner, and there's not really anything we can do. So he did very well going through the chicane there and getting himself in the right place to challenge for that position on the final corner. So there we go then, a good result considering where we started, but looks like we could have maybe challenged for 5th place or so if we hadn't been involved in that incident at the hairpin. Thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, leave a like, and if you haven't subscribed then feel free to subscribe too, and I will see you again soon.